You guys ever read something so buns that you just have to sit in silence and just think about what led you to this point in your life? Well, that's what I've done. And as you can see by the title, today we're going to be reading a very interesting manual, and it's called Me Ex Daddy. Yes. And by that name, I feel like some of you could vaguely tell what the plot would be. But when I tell you, reading this has drained at least 20 years of my life, I'm being so serious. Without wasting any more time, let's rant about it. So there are three main characters within this series: the dad, the mother, and the son. And basically these three wake up every single day just to traumatize each other. Like a therapist would have a heyday with this family. No, not a therapist. Freud would have a heyday with this family because of how messed up they are in the head. So the story starts off with the dad. He's basically like a music professor, and he is cheating on his wife with his assistant. And basically they're doing like their little scandalous activities when he gets a message saying that his wife and son is coming back from the airport. So he's just there like, okay, let's stop, I need to go pick up my wife. But the thing about this guy is that even though in public he's seen as successful, he is very, very submissive to his wife. And this is partly because his wife is like some rich CEO. So there's like that power balance between them there, right? So basically when he picks up his wife and son, you could tell that he does not like his son much. He just finds him creepy, partly because he looks so much like his wife. And as you know, he hates his wife. So on this trip back to their home, the wife basically tells him that she knows that he's cheating on her because she has caught him cheating in the past, and she wants a divorce. And she basically talks down on him, basically telling him that he's not worth anything and he should just die. And the dad's basically listening to all of this, and he's just there like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I sacrificed so much of my life for you guys. And the parents are having an argument, and that's when a lorry comes from the other side and basically crashes into them. 8 months later, the dad awakens to find that his wife is still in a coma, while their son emerges unscathed. And he sees this as an opportunity to escape from both his wife's financial control and emotional dominance, because he realizes that she never really fully went through with like the divorce and everything. So he's just like, yes, I could use some money and I could escape. But one thing he just cannot pinpoint is like how calm his son is through all of this. He's just kind of like, oh, why is my son so calm about this? But he doesn't really care about any of this. He just wants to use his wife's money. But then he hears from like the doctors that the wife did wake up briefly for a bit and she did end up writing her will. So he's kind of like a bit worried about that. How they get back to their house, like the dad's basically sleeping, right? And when this scene came up, I was just there like, anyone who actually enjoys this needs holy water. Like, I don't care if you hate on me. Like, I genuinely do not care if you hate on me. Anyone who enjoys this should actually get holy water down their throats. Because while the dad's sleeping, right, the son basically does stuff to him. And then he wakes up the next day and he's just like, oh my god, why do I have like scratches and everything? It reminds me of my wife. And then we get to know that the dad basically has like a dom sub like relationship with his wife, in which like they do like BDSM stuff, and like the dad's always getting like beaten by like the wife, and he's like in lingerie. You guys can guess like what it would look like, you get me? And like he's always getting like beaten by his wife, and he's always been like looked down on whenever they're like doing those type of stuff. And we come to realize that one day the son saw them do the shit with each other, in which like the dad and the mum were going at it and they were doing this like power play, and the son accidentally walked in on them and he saw everything that they were doing. And ever since then he's just kind of had like a weird feeling about his dad. But anyways, moving on to the present, the dad's kind of like, yes, I'm like off the hook, like I'll never have to see that woman again if she does die. And the son comes up to him and he's just said like, oh, by the way, you're not getting like a penny from like your wife, my mother, because you purposely crashed the car into that lorry that day. Because turns out the son had audio recorded everything that day, right? And you know how like the wife was degrading like her husband? She was saying that, oh, he was useless, all he does is cheat. And the guy says more stuff and he's just like, oh wow, all you do is look down on me. And he purposely swerves the car into the lorry. and causes a crash on his own. But it gets worse, because now that the dad knows that his entire plan's been found out by the son, he's kind of like, well, you would have turned in that evidence if you really did hate me, but you don't, so you're on my side. And the son's like, no, I did not turn this evidence in because I liked you. It's because I'm going to inherit you now.
Oh my God!
Yes, you guys heard me right. So this guy basically says, if you don't sleep with me, his son basically says, if you don't sleep with me, I'm going to turn in this audio to the police and you're going to be arrested and you are not going to get a single penny from me. And the dad's obviously just there like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, you're my son, right? And then the guy like speaks some more and the dad basically hits him. And then he basically like whacks his dad to the point of him being unconscious. And this man proceeds to just rape his dad. Like, guys. So yes, it just gets worse as the story goes on, right? Because when you feel bad for one character, you realize they actually don't have any redeeming qualities about themselves, because everyone's just as bad as each other. Like, you would really think this family just suits each other in general. But basically now the dad's kind of just like, what the hell, like, I've literally just slept with my son, even though he was like sexually assaulted, right? But like, he can't really go to the police because then the son's gonna be like, well, you tried to kill like my mom and me and everything. So it's like he's just in a complicated situation. But the dad tries to run away, right? And he basically steals like his wife's card, but like the son freezes it, so the dad basically has nowhere else to go. And he calls like his partner who he was cheating on his wife with, but even that man's been bought with his son's money, so that man's just kind of gone. He just like left him. And so the dad, now not knowing what to do, goes back to his son and they full on start a sexual relationship together. So like a quick flashback about like everyone within this demented family. Basically the dad met the mom when he was playing piano, right? And obviously they kind of got to know each other and she fell pregnant and she was like a big CEO, so if the media found out that she had no father to the child, it would like look really bad on her. So she basically contacted the dad and he was like, yes, like I'll stay with you throughout everything. But he only stayed with her for her money, because this man was living in some rundown apartment. Both of his parents committed suicide because of debt, so all he cared about was money, and that was the only thing on his mind when he got with this woman, when he married the mother. But soon he realized he was getting way too comfortable in this new lifestyle, to the point that he even missed his son's birth, and this pissed off the mother so much to the point that she started to ruin his life in a way that he could never play the piano again. So she kind of like banned him from getting any more gigs all across the country. She made him stay at home and look after the son, because she was just there like, yeah, I know you only married me for my money, but this is so selfish of you to do something like this. So now like the dad has become like a stay-at-home father, right? But he hates this, and whenever his son is around, he just like, he acknowledges him, but he's just not present there, because he's kind of like, oh my god, this is all his fault that my life turned out like this. Like, I should have never came into this family, but the money is there, so I can't go back to my lifestyle. But he blames both of them for what his life is like right now. And so as the son grows up, he becomes less present in his life, and the son's kind of like, hey dad, like I've done this, or hey dad, I've graduated, or hey dad, I'm coming back to the country. But the dad just does not care. But what really happened was, on the day the son walked in on his parents, you know, doing the stuff together, he was kind of aroused by the entire thing, and he sort of had like a thing for his dad, right? And he was just so ashamed about that he kind of like moved from that country. Like, the mother knew, because for some weird flipping reason they have cameras in every single room of this house, so bear that in mind. So they know everything that's going on every single second of their life in this house, right? And so the mother saw that the son was peeking in, and she saw what the son was doing in his room, and so she just said like, yeah, I know you have like some weird feelings, and I know you saw us, but what can I do? Therapy. That's what you can do, actually. But all in all, we just realized the son just wants to be loved by the dad. And the dad soon realizes this as well, because the son says something like this: "Someday I hope you'll hate me just as much." And the dad, hearing this, he's kind of just there like, oh, I'm gonna play on his feelings. I'm gonna make him think that I'm there for him while still effing him. Yeah, bear that in mind, they're still having a sexual relationship. But I'm gonna make him think I'm a changed man. I'm gonna make him think I'm there for him. And then I'm gonna run away with the money. Like, that's this man's plan. And he plans this so much to the point that he goes to the hospital and he's just there like, okay, I forgive you. To his wife, who's still in a coma, he's just there like, I'm so sorry for doing all of this to you. I just wanted you to love me. And he knows the son's coming, because the son comes up behind him and he sees that the father's asking for forgiveness from the mother. But remember that I said they have cameras all around the house? They have cameras in the hospital as well. And the son realizes the dad was like putting on this entire act, because for some reason the dad talks to himself before he rehearses everything and asks for forgiveness from the wife. The son's just there like, you are never gonna change and you're never gonna get any money from any of us. So now the dad, he's just there like, shit, like, oh my god, like there's no way I'm gonna break this cycle, right? So after a bit, like when the son's sleeping, he decides to go kill him. And then he hears like the son sleep talking about like how much he wanted like the dad to be there for him. And the dad's just kind of just there like, oh, okay, so that's what you want. And he basically goes and exits himself in the bathtub, but then he is saved just in time by the son, right? And then the son's just there rushing him to the hospital, and then obviously they would have to do some blood transfusion, but the doctor's just there like, no, you can't give like your blood group. And we find out the son and the father are not related. The son's not his biological son, because turns out the mom had IVF and she got pregnant that way, and she just never told her husband. So for all these years he's been looking after someone who's not his son, and the son finds this out. The dad finds all of this out, and you might be thinking, okay, most sane people would just be like, okay, they would just leave this relationship, they'll forget all of this happened, or they'll at least call the police to sort something out within this fucked up relationship. But no, they get together because they're like, we need each other. And that is the end of the main story. And I, God forbid, I'm not even going to open the side chapters, because I read this and I actually need my time back, because what the hell was all of that? So now that you guys are just as traumatized as me, I want to know what you guys think, right? Because I get everyone in this story is effed up in the head and they need mental help, right? But the dad throwing himself at the son multiple times and still thinking that's like biologically his son has to be the most effed up character in this series. Like after a bit he was just there like, oh my god, like I need this in my daily routine. And after a bit even the son gets uncomfortable, right? Even he's just there like, what the hell is wrong with this old man? But then they still carry on, like two grown men, by the way. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, this was another tough read like all the other ones, but yeah, honestly tell me what you guys think about this series. If you guys do have any weird stories that you want me to check out, please do let me know. And I hope you guys all have been having an amazing week. I know I didn't upload last week because it was my graduation. Yes, Miss Girl's got a bachelor's degree. It's so crazy how 3 years went that quickly. Like after lockdown I still feel like I'm like 16, 15, and I don't feel like I'm in my early 20s anymore. But with that guys, that is an end of another rants video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. You know, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I hope you guys all have an amazing week. And with that,